Chefs of the future, COF Nation, COF Nation, future COF Nation. I'm here with Tony here for the first time ever. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. I'm glad I could finally make this connection with the show, with you. I've been working on the show for years. I've known you for years. I've worked beside you for a couple years. Just now getting a chance to work beside you again this summer. And it's always been a pleasure.
Yeah.
It's always good vibes. Before we get into all the topics that we're going to talk about today, I just want to give the people who listen and watching a feel for who you are and what you do. And as far as just your experience cooking.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess I started off when Josh was doing his externship for college. And he got me a job as a garmization
Who's
cook.
Josh? Who's Josh?
Josh. Yeah. Well, I mean, he's been on the show. He's
Josh.
the Josh Blickens.
Yeah. Josh, Team Josh.
Oh.
Yeah.
So, anyway,
how you gonna go against Team Josh?
So,
Right.
yeah, he got me a job as the garmage cook, the salad guy, the sandwich guy, whatever. Slowly but steadily, I worked my way up from going from fry cook to going to saute to going to just general roundsman. Now anywhere they need me, they throw me. So I know just enough of everything to get the job done.
So that's important to have somebody in service that's capable of jumping to any station at a moment's notice. That's key to having service move smoothly.
I always call it putting Band-Aid on an open wound.
Well,
will this help?
Well, it's necessary.
Yeah,
because again, it's all about getting that specific day of service done, completed, out the way, and everyone's satisfied.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure
good.
you've seen in the kitchen a couple times when chefs Princess, I need you to fix this now. Every so often, he something happened, and he just snaps his fingers and tells me to do it. Yeah, I do it. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it.
So, today, right, we're here to talk about time management. You talk about how he snaps his fingers and it's the certain expectation and how it relates to the kitchen life. So how we manage time, the tricks that we've learned through the course of our career that helps us get through service or execute a certain order or a certain ticket in a timely manner, and how time affects people who works in the kitchen differently. So let's talk time. So when I think of time, I think about each ticket. Each ticket has an expectation of how long it should take to execute and to put out. And I also think about putting myself in the role of the customer. When you go out to eat, you all right, I have a certain time before I expect the waiter to come give me my first glass of water, my first bread, my first drink, my first appetizer. All of these things that I'm taking a mental cue, either consciously or subconsciously, of how long I'm spending while between courses or
what
meals.
You're doing and everything that you're trying to do. Yeah.
So now I fast forward to me standing behind the wall cooking the food that's going out to the customers that would be in that position that I'm fantasizing about. So I'm all right, if I order apps at this time, I'm expecting my entree to come out at this time.
Yeah.
And I put myself under that personal pressure to execute under what my expectation would be if I was dining out. And sometimes it aligns with service and sometimes it doesn't. And that's with any location I'm at.
Well,
and with anyone.
It also depends because, especially because we work on opposite sides of the kitchen most of the time. Whatever I'm preparing, whether it be something as simple as a salad or something like a cheesesteak, if they order a snapper or some sort of entree afterwards, it is a matter of it's going to take them maybe 5-10 minutes, depending on if they're talking to devour salad compared to something I don't know, a fish sandwich. Yeah. So it's a matter you have a complete different concept of time on your side versus mine.
Yeah, because apps, it's once you're up, the whole
yeah.
When you're out, you're out.
Yeah.
So it's like,
boom.
As soon as your ticket comes in, it has to move, and there's really no holding process. Even the holding ones, as soon as it fires, it's supposed to be straight out, because again, it's like quick, short things that has to get. That just has that.
That's why I like Sauté, is because you have your holding tickets. You have the time to prepare something and make it look good. My job is to also do the same, but make sure it gets out in the fastest possible moment. Yeah.
So, when you think about time, let's say you come into work a half an hour before service starts. Within that half an hour, you probably have like 5 things that you prep and execute to make sure it's ready for service. Within that half an hour. Now, when the tickets start rolling in, let's say you have 8 minutes to execute each item.
Okay.
Like
8 minutes. Wow.
Like, yeah, that's the, you see?
Like, that's a lot of time.
No, yeah. So you have 8 minutes. Let's say it's a well done filet or something like that.
Okay.
That's on the ticket. So,
I mean, even that.
Yeah, but still, like, that allows you a little bit more time on the ticket than if it was.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, like a well done filet, you fucking butterfly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you get what I'm trying to say.
No, I get you.
So now you have a ticket that's being called by the expediter, and they want like a ETA, and you say 30 seconds or a minute, right?
I always give myself a little bit more time to seem like I'm like doing something cool.
So
always.
So let's say you say a minute, right?
Yeah.
Imagine how much you could do in a minute.
Yeah.
In that moment.
Oh, always.
You're like, man, a minute is a lifetime.
No.
I could cook 3,000 things in 60 seconds.
No, but that's
when you're in that zone.
But that's why I always give myself like that a little extra moment, because because on top of trying to prepare the dish that they're asking about, if I give myself, let's say, it's actually gonna take me like 1 minute. If I add an extra minute on, it's not going to hurt the service, and it gives me that extra little time frame to do the other tickets that are coming in. Because apps, out the door.
And we're speaking in times of 60 seconds, minutes. We're using minutes as a term of like measurement.
Yeah.
So that just goes to show you how quickly things go. And when somebody says you got 60 seconds to do that, and you're like, man, I got the world. Like, I have a world of time to do this if I got a minute.
Yeah.
But you apply that to, anything else, any other train of thought. A minute is like, that's not enough time, like, to execute something. But it's that kitchen life, This is what we're here to discuss. How time is different, moves different, is perceived differently in the kitchen, to the people that work there, to the expectation of the customers even.
I mean, I always give myself a reasonable time frame. I never go like over exaggerating. Like something that takes, let's say, 30 seconds to throw up a side of fries. I'm not going to over exaggerate and say 2 minutes on that. Like, that's too much. If I add like an extra 30 seconds, it's just that smoothing area. Like, even James knows that when I'm on Pizza Station, and like, he's like, how long on that pizza? I'm like, oh, I got about, I always say a minute and a half. I can have it out in 45 seconds. He knows that I screw with that just to give myself a little breathing room, but if he needs it out, he's like, you got 45 seconds. I'm like, I got it. Like, I can do it. I'm just giving myself that breathing room. Again, because if I serve it out before that time frame, like I can do, I can get other stuff done, and at the same time, make myself look good.
So, what's some tricks that you learned like early in your career to like help with your time management, like to help pick up the slack on certain tickets that you felt you was falling behind on, just for people who may just need help?
So
when they first started,
I would say always organize your tickets in a time management kind of way. Like, you have 2 types of tickets: tickets that have to go out first, and tickets that are holding.
In some spots, some spots don't.
In some spots, in some other spots, it's just all straight out.
Yeah.
So, the idea is to, while the tickets are coming in, let the tickets roll in, because you can't organize like what's coming in with what you also have to do. It's that time management. If you take that extra like 10 seconds to just hang up your tickets in a certain order. You can then look at everything that you have to throw down an extra amount to give yourself that little wiggle room with everything else that's coming in. And then it's like, because you took that extra 10 seconds to organize, you then can, like, this dish goes out, bam, bam, bam. Like, you already have the extra bit prepared. You have everything, like, in a group. All you have to do is now plate. And if the tickets are coming in continuously, then they're really not waiting long while you're prepping everybody else's food.
Well, then let's say you work a station that you're not the only one dealing with the tickets.
Oh, apps?
No, I'm talking for people who like listening, who's like tuning in, and it's like, hey, look, I work a station that's 3 people deep, and we each have a hand in grabbing tickets from the dupe. And how do I go about making my day a little less stressful? Like, what's a personal trick I could come into work?
So like
just to have them steal a nugget of your knowledge, like.
So I would say, like, if it's one station with like more than one person on it, is there going to be more than one ticket machine, or is there going to just be one ticket machine for that, like, 3 people?
So
that's what I'm asking.
So it comes down to the location.
Yeah,
I've worked in spots where it was one machine for the entire kitchen, and they had a front and backline expo, and you had to memorize the tickets.
No, I completely understand that.
I've worked in other spots that they had, like, each station had its own ticket machine, but the stations were so large that there were maybe 3 people working each station. So if really, that's on a case by case basis.
No, I can completely understand, because this
is like a little trick that, like, I learned, like, early when it comes to like time management, when it comes to, like, putting out food that's worked with multiple people, or even by yourself. Just something that just help you be that more efficient is to be as prepped as possible. True. Like, you can never understate how prepped you are. So when I'm working in certain spots that maybe go through, like, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 cases of French fries, like boxes of fries, by 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you get into the habit of just never having the fry, like, the fryer's empty. You just never have it empty. It's just something. This is a rule of thumb. Yeah. So you take that logic and you apply it to every little bit of that station. Always. You, like, just always keep it stocked, always keep it plenished, looking beautiful and full. Yeah. Because people eat with their eyes. So when they're walking around and they see everything, like, full and voluptuous, looking great, it makes them more hungry. It makes them more interested in what's there, what's being presented. And especially for locations that's putting out, like, buffet style foods, and that has, like, expositions that, like, their food under, like, lights and stuff like that. Yeah. Like, presented to the public that way. And that's not being put out onto plates. So when it comes to plates, it's all about how you hold the food, behind the line. What system do you have in place when it comes to, like, a restaurant setting? What kind of, like, how do you go about organizing your food when it goes out? Do you fire to order? Do you have it prepped? That's the kind of system. And that very much so would set the standard of quality.
Well, I would always have, being prepped is always, like, my number one thing. As soon as I get in the morning, I always have to, like, because every so often, like, either someone forgets something. I know I forget things, but, like, at the same time, I also like to, like, how you always, like, you like to have everything voluptuous. I like to keep everything, I like to dig everything out to the very bottom and then replace it with something new, because I honestly cannot stand putting, like, just refilling the thing, because it's grody. Get out of here. So, like, I always like to have, like, that, and, like, most of the time I don't have that option, but I always, like, make sure that I have, like, something underneath, just so that way I can pull it out in case of an emergency, because I don't have that best. 30 seconds to roll over.
But look, it's the best thing in the world.
Yeah.
To when you need something to just
pick it up and
reach down.
Yep.
To just reach down into the depths of the station.
Yep.
And to pull out the exact thing you need at the exact time you need it without having to run like a chicken to the other side of the kitchen.
Yeah, and there are times when you're still going to run like hell, but
in my experience, by far, bar none, the biggest thing you can do to help yourself with time management is to just be as prepped as possible.
Definitely.
And that right there would set yourself up for success through any service in any restaurant. You know, that's what I try to do. In any kitchen that I worked in all over the country, what I try to do is just absorb knowledge, little nuggets of like information. I go to one spot and they teach you a trick about a cutting board. I go to another spot and they teach you a trick about boiling water. You know, what have you. And then you take that and you just try to accumulate it and absorb it and apply it to the next spot you go to, the next spot. So I try to not personalize like each location and individualize the knowledge, but just absorb it and add it to my repertoire. Like,
yeah, because you always have to adjust.
Yeah. You got to acclimate. Every kitchen is different. Everyone has their style. So,
but if you have that universal control that you can like just tap in and it's like, oh yeah, no, now I got control. Yeah. If you have like theoretically, if the kitchen is the TV and you are the universal remote, all you have to do is punch in a code and it's like, yeah, all right, we adjusted, we're good, I got it. Yeah.
You know, the analogy I use, and I think I said on the show a couple times, was you put me in any kitchen, right, in the world, no matter if I speak the language or not, I'm going to find my way. Yeah. You know, it's just the language of the pots and spoons, it stays the same. The food may be different. The people may be different, but the pans, the pots, the plates,
concept.
Yes, the technique, the skill, just the knowledge, always stays the same. Put me in China, I don't speak Chinese, but I find my way in the kitchen. You know,
and that goes back to what you were saying before about being prepped. Like I always come in a half hour. Like I say, I use it to get one of the good parking spots, but really I like to come in a half hour early, see what mess I have to deal with. If there is a mess, take care of it, and that way when service actually does come around, I can lean back and just like ride out the rest of my day. Because
it's the best feeling when you know you have enough to get through service for that night. You feel invincible because you like, yo, whatever tonight throws at me, I'm good. Exactly. As long as I don't go and sell like.
Just being prepped is like the simplest thing for time management. Like you do have those people in the kitchen that can like run and go get stuff, but there's still that time that's being wasted on not completing the thing that So like it screws up your time management. You have to adjust, but still.
So let's put ourselves in this situation. Prepped. Let's say the fridge conks out, right? And everything there goes out the window. Now that's nobody's fault, right?
No.
It's under no control.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, so now you walk into that, and time is ticking for service to start. So it's a crunch for time. You walk into that, you know, that fun environment.
Yep.
And what would be a nugget of advice for getting somebody through putting the food out in a timely manner? So what I would say in that situation is the best thing to do is to prioritize. What do you have at the station that you need the most?
Yeah, like,
you know, what's salvageable,
like your
what's
freezer
not
just clocked out. What do you need to get and like put aside so that way you can take care of everything else? That would be my thing. Like, you just lost everything that's in your freezer. You have to get that, find a way to store it, and then figure out everything else. Like, you have to like go back to the station, like prep everything else. But obviously, if that's what you walk into, that's the first thing that has to be handled.
Now, I say that to bring up the bigger point of prioritizing.
Yeah.
And to have that logic on every day of service, even when things are running smoothly and when things aren't running smoothly.
Yeah.
It's always important to prioritize the things that need to be.
The
stress points.
Yeah.
Where you know you're going to run thin towards the end of service. Well, then you should maybe go a little heavier on the prep.
Exactly.
You know, and that's coming full circle with just being prepped.
Like, like even the way that and this is just an example from work, like the way, like when I seen you pre-make the champagne sauce with the prosciutto and the cheese and the peppers and everything, like without the thing, I'm like, wait, we could do that? It's like, yeah. Oh, I just assumed that nobody, you were the only one that did that. I had the thought in my mind, but nobody else did it, so I was like, I guess we can't do that. But you did it, and I was like, thank you. Yeah. Like, it's just like, because like there are those random times where like you go on your 15 and I have to like cover you every so often, and I have to serve up the chicken champagne. I don't have to fucking do anything because it's right there. I love that. Prep.
Yeah. That's it. And you know, that's the biggest like saving grace that I could, and nugget advice I could give anybody.
Yeah. Who's
struggling to find, you know, their way in the kitchen, and or like that's slower than other people in any other state.
And like and unless you're like one of the managers, like you're not gonna have, like, speaking from a personal standpoint, you know, like I get bounced around every so often. You're not going to have complete control over your station most of the time. There's somebody that's going to have to fill in, and it's going to screw up. Don't focus on what got screwed up. Just, again, like you said, prioritize the big problems first, then work your way down. It's going to help, because when everything starts coming in, like, you know that, all right, let's say I don't have any chicken wings, but I'm fine on everything else. I have to, you know, go get those chicken wings and then let everything else run down, and then I can prioritize, like I can fill up everything that I'm running low on while I'm doing the chicken wings, so that way I can, again, be prepped, be prepared, take care of the big things, work your way down.
So, we covered that.
Yeah.
Now, let's put ourselves in a position where we just find ourselves in a hole during service. Like, we're in service, and then it's like, yeah, you know, we're lost. You get caught up in the tickets, and you just lost your place. And so, and we got time barreling down on us. We have the demand of service.
Yep.
So, this is what I would say in that situation. So, when you find yourself in a hole, the most important thing is to understand that you're in a kitchen that sells food.
Yeah. So
sell food. So you look at a ticket and you plate it. Yeah. Any ticket. If you're in that situation where you're just like a deer in the headlights,
you have to have an idea of how many of a certain item is going out in that situation. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah. So let's say you have, you know, four of the same pasta dishes.
I don't know where they're going, but I know they're out there.
It's plate something. Just
exactly.
Plate it. Just look at it and plate it. Exactly. You know, sell something. Just sell something. It has to go. Just sell something. Anything. Like,
well, I mean, like, give me a break. Like, you have to have you have to have the item on there. You can't just be like, why is there chicken fingers sitting here?
You like, I panic.
No, I've done it. Yeah. It's like, what's this extra cheesesteak doing here? I don't know.
I don't know, man. It
just happened.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course. You're like, yo, I just, I had extra. I just put it up. So
you want it?
I've done it a couple times too. So, of course, you look at the ticket, you see you need it, you put it up.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest advice. Just move. Just anything. Just plate anything you see that you need.
Like, if you see that their item has to go out, just send it out there. Because you have to have some, like, if you don't have somebody organizing the tickets, then obviously you, like, if you're not organizing your tickets but you have somebody shouting them out, you should take that ticket down and like mark it off, like, all right, that guy said that I put it out for this thing, so that way you don't like triple do it, because that goes back to like, oh, I don't know, I have this fucking random ass cheesesteak.
But yeah, that's it. That was the goal of today. Just try to give people that watch the show, like, just our little things that we've picked up, that we could like share with them, that helped us out in our times.
Prep's definitely a thing. Priority.
Look, prep your station. Prep as much in the kitchen. Not even if it's not like affecting your station, to prep the kitchen period would affect you in some way down the line in the kitchen during service. You know, it just
don't let that domino that's right
yeah.
behind you fall on your back.
No, yeah, it'll affect you positively. It had a positive effect. You know, prioritize the things that need to be prioritized. Like, you know, get the things that are the biggest hurdles for that service today done.
Yeah,
and then get that out the way, and then work your way down from the things you need to the things you kind of want right there at that station later on. And then the last thing is don't panic. Don't panic, and if you find yourself in a hole...
If you find yourself in a panic, you literally gotta... Like, and it sounds cliche, you literally just gotta, like, close your eyes, like, literally, this is what I do, like, close your eyes, take a step back, take a deep breath, and then be like, alright, the first thing I need to do is...
And again, this is things that every person who works in the kitchen around the world could take with them and use. Like, this is we're speaking like the universal language.
No,
right now.
I'm sure there are still.
We talked about this before the camera.
Like, there are experienced chefs out there who can, like, you know, like everything that we're saying, just like ignore it and like go throughout the entire day at high speed. But like for, you know, like even the most experienced chefs have to take a moment to step back and be like, okay.
They're applying the things we're talking about. They're just not saying it out loud.
Oh, yeah.
They're doing it mentally.
Because they have egos. All chefs have egos. Don't.
Okay. So look.
Sorry.
So look, you have the ego, that's fine.
Yeah.
But it's the process of the person with that ego that change. That's the same.
That's still universal.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the same. Because it's like playing chess. You have a way to move, but then you have a way to win. Like, you understand? And if you want to win, the move is obvious.
Yeah.
Like, so that's it.
Yeah.
It's you approach that logic to anything in the kitchen. You're like, all right, yeah, I have a way I could do this, but then I have the way it's the most efficient. Yeah. I have the way that's the most efficient way to do this in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And that's the avenue I try to take. Or I'm always twerking service, trying to see what fits.
Twerking?
You know what I'm saying? Twerking service. Again, I'm always twerking service and seeing what fits. I'm going to continue to say it. Nah, I'm going to continue to say it. You know, so, like, I'm trying to see what fits, what gets the food out faster, what helps me during service.
And a lot of the times, and like especially when someone's starting out, it's going to be a lot of fucking crash and burn. And it's... I've been yelled at a lot of times in the kitchen. As long as you don't set the place on fire and they don't say you're fired, just learn from the experience.
Learn from your mistakes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's going to be stressed and it's not going to be easy. But, you know, at the end of the day, and when you get comfortable with everything, you're going to find out, like, kitchen kind of rock and roll.
Yeah, and then it's either you love it or
you hate it.
Yeah. It's really no in between.
Yeah.
Well, those are the people that's like there, but you know they're miserable. It's like so. It's again.
Now we're gonna get
everyone.
Time.
Yeah.
Because spending so much time at a place can make somebody miserable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I feel like to willingly put yourself in a kitchen situation, I always say this: you have to be a little bit insane. It has to be, you know, every day to willingly wake up and to say, you know what, I'm going to go stand in the kitchen today.
I'm going to go stand while it's 97 degrees outside in front of a 500-degree oven.
Amongst 15 other
I'm wearing sweatpants doing that.
Amongst 15 other individuals, and I'm going to just pick up hot stuff and knives and all
and there's not just your 500-degree oven, there's like 3 others.
Yeah. So you can't even... You have to be. It has to be not something right in your head. Like so. I always say that, and hence this is why we're here.
Yeah.
Straight out of service. It's 12 o'clock at night, 1 o'clock in the morning.
Since like 6:30 in the morning.
And we're recording this.
Yeah.
This is why you here, man. You chefs of the future. You know, and I definitely appreciate you stopping past.
Always.
and hopefully I'll try to get you on the show again, and get you on the video calls like we do LJ when we in the city.
Yo, I'd be down for that.
Yeah,
Word.
I'll be having him Skyping and stuff.
Awesome.
On the show, dropping that knowledge.
Oh, like, and I have a good computer setup, so I can like.
Oh yeah, but look,
work.
Before you get out of here, look,
Word.
listen.
Whoa.
Chefs of the Future.
Chefs of the Future.
When we was out here, we shot documentary.
Yes. Oh God.
Yeah. So the documentary we shot was about the dock.
Yes.
The documentary is what we call it.
Yes.
You're in the documentary.
I know. I'm the only one that knows.
Listen.
Fuck, dude.
You've actually seen the documentary.
That one moment you captured, though, is what bugs me out.
Listen. Don't spoil. No spoilers.
No.
Look, you've seen the first cuts of the documentary.
Yes.
Look, the hype is real.
No, it's definitely real.
Look, anything to tell the COF Nation about the documentary. That how they should prepare themselves, what to expect, like.
But no, everything you say about that just clinches on that one moment, and I'm not gonna spoil it, but that one moment, you know that moment I'm talking about. Everything you says is like, yeah.
I don't know. Listen,
like even going back to what you were saying about like you have to be a little bit insane.
Yeah.
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 That one moment.
Everything comes full circle, bro.
Yeah. Oh my God! But I hate that you captured him, just plopped it right in there at the end. Fuck you.
Look, Chefs of the Future again.
Chefs of the Future.
So anything to say about the documentary before we get out of here?
About the documentary.
About the documentary. What to expect?
I would say it's so casual and like lighthearted, but it does give you like an actual like view of like I can't spoil anything, right? It gives you like an actual experience of what chefs do on a day-to-day basis, but how they handle it, because like they'll do a lot of work and it'll be boring, mind-numbing, like especially when you're doing such vast amounts of prep. And like even for prep cooks, it could be just draining. I've done prep; it's fucking nauseating. Like just to do the same thing for like an hour. Whereas like us like short order cooks, we like whip, out the door. Like we have to keep fast paced. Where as prep cooks just stand there and like crack eggs and mix shit. Like fuck that. It definitely gives you the experience of what you were saying before about you have to be a little bit off the edge, but if you can get past that, if you could get to our unique personalities, everything's Gucci.
Hell yeah. I see what you did there.
That moment.
So listen.
Yeah. Chefs of the Future.
Exactly. Chefs of the Future. Keep it locked. Again, always a pleasure, man. Thank you. Thank you. For real. Thank you for Cyber Pass. Trying to get this man again here on the show. Always a great vibe. Documentary coming sooner than you think. Dropping sooner than you think.
Fuck.
Yeah. It's real.
I'm not ready for it. Like you ready for that. You hype about it. I'm like, ooh.
The hype
I'm
is
on
real.
it.
The hype is real. But look, again, we out of here.